Welcome to week 2 power rankings. This was a fun week of the NFL. Let's dive straight into this, beginning with honorable mentions. The Ravens come in as one of them, playing a really nice game against the Chiefs, and one that they probably could have won with ease if they would have just made a little less mistakes and were a little more disciplined. And the illegal formation thing was kind of weird as well. But yeah, the Packers are another honorable mention in large part because we don't fully know the situation with Jordan Love. If it was a case where he was like going to be healthy this upcoming week, the Packers would have been on here. And then the Vikings are also an honorable mention because they played a nice game. It's just it was against the Giants. So number 10 to kick things off is the Seattle Seahawks. A good win against the Denver Broncos. One where they gave up 2 safeties, which was a weird, fun thing that happened. But yeah, Seattle comes in. They have a really, really nicely built team. And Geno Smith played really well. That was a big thing I was curious about entering this season for the Seahawks was, can Geno Smith still play at the level he has the past few years? He did this week. Seattle was looking good. The defense also played Bo Nix really well, getting 2 interceptions. Yeah, Seattle comes in at number 10. Number 9 is the Buffalo Bills. And listen, yeah, it was a really tight game against the Arizona Cardinals, who, at least for me, are potential playoff contenders, which is why I don't fully put that tight game too much against them. Same thing with the first half. A lot of teams had sluggish first halves this week, so I'm not putting it against Buffalo. They are on this list because of how they played in the second half and how they bounced back. They played really well, led by Josh Allen, just doing Josh Allen things all over the place. The passing game looked good, and that was kind of a question I had with their offense because the ground game still looked great behind James Cook. The defense might still have some questions because, again, it took a little bit to get going, and you still don't have Matt Milano, who is a key piece to that defense. But for the most part, Buffalo looks really good. They kind of look like last year's Buffalo from the second half of the season. And if they can keep this up and keep winning, they're going to be moving up these rankings. They play Thursday Night Football this week in what should be a really good game. And yeah, they're at number 9 for this week. Number 8 is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And they had a dominant showing against Washington. They really did handle business this week. And Baker Mayfield played incredible. 4 touchdown passes, really continuing to make Cleveland look stupid for letting him go and replacing him with Deshaun Watson, especially after how Watson played this week. But yeah, Tampa played really well against Washington. The defense played good. The offense played good. They did what they needed to do, and they handled business against a team they are better than. That is a big thing, especially this early in the season, where we constantly see teams starting slow. Tampa didn't. They took care of business, and they played their style of football. It is a really nice game, and if they can continue building off this, I like my predictions for the NFC South. But Tampa comes in at number 8 after a really solid performance. Number 7 is the Miami Dolphins, and yes, I know they won, but it was a really, really ugly win. And honestly, a game that Miami maybe shouldn't have fully earned to win. And in the sense of the offensive production. The offensive production was way below what I feel like a lot of people expected from Miami so far this season. I know it is week 1, that's kind of an overreaction. But Jacksonville is one of those teams where I'm not too high on the same way I'm high on like Arizona. I can't fully see them making the playoffs. So when a team like Miami, who has Super Bowl aspirations, struggles like this, yeah, I'm going to hold it against them a bit. Now again, the defense played absolutely incredible in the second half. Multiple key stops, a key turnover thanks to Javon Holland with a beautiful peanut punch. But I just need to see more from Miami. And yeah, even with the win, they fall to number 7 this week. Number 6 is the Houston Texans. They played one hard-fought game against the Colts, but managed to escape with a win, in a large part due to Joe Mixon's 30 carries, 159 yards, and 1 touchdown on the ground. DJ Stroud played well also, having a nice day for himself. Stephon Diggs got involved early with a receiving touchdown, and overall, the Houston Texans offense was looking like a better version of their offense last season. The defense still has some questions surrounding it, in part because of, well, 1, the big play they gave up by Anthony Richardson, and 2, because of the run defense. Combined, the Colts had just over 100 yards of rushing, I believe, and overall, it does feel like they need a little more work on that side of it, but they played well enough to get the win this week. They move up in the rankings from last week. So yeah, the Texans sit at number 6. Number 5 is the Dallas Cowboys. And man, oh man, what a dominant performance they had against the Cleveland Browns. Made what was a historically good defense last year look average to mediocre on Sunday. And Deshaun Watson looked horrendous against that Cowboys defense. Micah Parsons was in his head. 6 sacks for the Cowboys. I mean, just an incredible performance all around for Dallas. And taking it to what some people had as a top contender team in the NFL. I didn't have the Browns that way because I didn't feel like Deshaun Watson could lead them that way. And after week 1, it does seem like that. But again, the Cowboys are a really good team. They move up in my rankings from week 1. And they're going to be a tough team to beat. Again, they looked really good. An all-around fantastic dominating performance. And Brandon Aubrey even hit one from 66, though it was called back due to delay of games. Just let it go. But yeah, the Cowboys are at number 5. Number 4 is the Detroit Lions, an overtime win against the Los Angeles Rams, of which that overtime drive was Dan Campbell being Dan Campbell. They ran it down the Rams' throats, and David Montgomery ended up with a really good game. Listen, the Lions got a really nice win against a top-tier team in the NFL with Sam Laporta and Amon-Ra St. Brown really being non-factors in this game. Jameson Williams, however, was the breakout guy, and he looked really, really good. And it was nice to see because Jameson Williams was someone I've been rooting for since he entered the league. So having him finally have a big breakout game was nice. Let's see if he can keep it consistent the entire year. The defense, they looked good. They got pass rush from other people besides Aiden Hutchinson, which was something I wanted to see. And the secondary even picked off Matthew Stafford before the end of the half. Again, the Lions are a Super Bowl contender, and they showed it on Sunday with a battle of the trenches. They come in at number 4. Number 3 is the Philadelphia Eagles. And yes, I know that first half, really mainly first quarter for the offense, looked horrendously bad. But where the offense lacked in production, the defense made up for it. In that first quarter, the Packers had back-to-back drives started in the plus 40 range, and they only got held to 6 points. The Eagles' defense played incredibly well early on in that game, and at the end when they needed to step up and make the game win and stop. The offense took a little bit to get going, but once they did, they looked really good. Saquon Barkley had a receiving touchdown and 2 touchdowns on the ground. A.J. Brown had a big touchdown. And Jalen Hurts, well, yes, he struggled at times. He still made the plays when he needed to most. The Eagles are one of the topper tier teams in the league, and I still think some people might view number 3 to be a little high. I like where this sits. They come in at number 3. Number 2 is the San Francisco 49ers, and they had a great game against the Jets. Played really well on all factors of the ball, and even without CMC, completely dominated time of possession and the ground game. Jordan Mason looked incredible. Through the air, Purdy played well enough, didn't do too much, wasn't asked to do too much. Samuel, Ayuk, and Kittle did their job. Even Juszczyk got in the action. The defense is the main focal point because they held what a lot of people were claiming as a really good Jets offense to 19 points. And even got an interception on Rodgers, which is hard to come by. Did a good job limiting Breece Hall on the ground. And just an all-around really, really good game from San Francisco, even without one of their best players due to injuries. So yeah, they come in at number 2. Really, who else belongs at number 1 than the Kansas City Chiefs? They've proved it multiple years now that they are the best team in the league. They proved it again this week that they can beat just about anybody, no matter what kind of day they have. And what was kind of an off day for the Chiefs offense, they still had a great showing. I know Kelsey had kind of a rough day, but Xavier Worthy had a rushing touchdown plus a passing touchdown. Mahomes did throw that bad pick, but for the most part, he had a really solid day. And the defense played well. They limited Derrick Henry quite a bit. They were able to contain the majority of the receiving options for Baltimore. I mean, Isaiah Likely did have himself a really good day, and Lamar Jackson did dominate on the ground. But at the end of the day, it is still the Kansas City Chiefs doing what Kansas City Chiefs do, and that is find a way to win games no matter who's in front of them and no matter how they're playing. They're really tough. They're the team to beat in the NFL, and until someone dethrones them, I don't see them moving from number 1 anytime soon. Well, there you have it. Quick little rundown. 10 Seattle, 9 Buffalo, 8 Tampa, 7 Miami, 6 Houston, 5 Dallas, 4 Detroit, 3 Philly, 2 San Francisco, and 1 Kansas City. Thank you all for tuning in. It would be appreciated if you subscribe and leave a like and stick around for more. And I'll see you all in the next one. Have yourselves a damn good one. Peace.